Hey there. Tonight we're traveling back to the frozen shores of 9th century Scandinavia, back to a time when your breath formed ice crystals in the air, when the sea could kill you in minutes, and when half the men in your village wouldn't see their 40th winter. But here's what they never taught you in school. Viking women regularly lived into their 60s and 70s, while their husbands, brothers, and sons dropped like flies around them. 20 extra years, an entire generation more of life. Why? The answer isn't what you think. I'm going to tell you the story of Astrid, not a shield maiden from legend, not a queen, but an ordinary woman who watched 3 husbands die, who buried 5 brothers, who saw her sons sail away and never return. Yet she lived to be 73 years old, ancient by Viking standards, weaving cloth by the fire, while younger widows joined her, one by one. So, dim the lights. Get comfortable. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. Because tonight, you're not just hearing about history. You are Astrid. You'll live her life, feel her losses, and discover why simply being a woman in the Viking Age was the greatest survival advantage you could have. This is going to be a long journey through 45 chapters of her life. We'll move slowly, deliberately, through the mundane details that killed men and spared women. Ready? Let's begin. You are 7 years old, and your name is Astrid. You live in a longhouse that smells of smoke, fish, and wet wool. Your mother is pregnant again, the 4th time you can remember. You have 3 older brothers, Bjorn, Eric, and Halvard. Your father, Gunnar, is preparing for a raid. This morning you watch your brothers practice with wooden swords in the yard. Bjorn, the oldest at 14, will join your father on the ships this summer. Your mother doesn't say much about it, but you've noticed her hands shake when she grinds the barley. Your job is to help your mother with the endless textile work, spinning, always spinning. The wool smells like sheep and lanolin, and your fingers hurt from twisting the drop spindle for hours. Your brothers get to run and fight. You sit and spin. Your mother tells you that spinning is women's work, sacred to the goddess Frigg. You don't care about goddesses. You want to play. But here's what you don't know yet. Those wooden swords your brothers swing will become real iron blades. That ship your father is preparing will sink in 3 years, taking him and Bjorn with it. Eric will die from an infected wound at 21. Halvard will freeze to death on a winter raid at 18. And you? You'll spin thread. You'll weave cloth. You'll stay alive. The statistics are brutal and simple. 70% of Viking men who went on raids never reached 40. Women who stayed home? Most made it past 50. Your mother knows this, even if she never says it aloud. Tonight, you fall asleep to the sound of your brother's laughter, not knowing that their laughter has an expiration date. You are 9 now. Your father is dead, so is Bjorn. Their ship encountered a storm off the Frisian coast and only 3 men from your village made it back. Your mother received Gunnar's arm ring and his eating knife. That's all. Your mother is not the only widow. 4 other women lost husbands in that same storm. They come to your longhouse now, sitting in a circle, spinning wool together. Their hands never stop moving. Spin, twist, drop. Spin, twist, drop. They don't cry much anymore. You learn something important. Widows survive. Your mother takes over your father's land. She barters wool cloth for barley. She negotiates with the Jarl for protection. Women can own property in your world, and your mother is shrewd. Eric is 12 now, already talking about raids. Your mother's face goes hard when he speaks of ships and glory. She says nothing, just spins faster. You help with everything now. Milking the goats, collecting eggs, weeding the small barley field, and always spinning. Your fingers are permanently stained with lanolin and plant dyes, blue from woad, red from madder root, yellow from tansy flowers. The truth they don't tell you: Viking raids had a mortality rate of nearly 40%. Almost half the men who sailed away never came home. Storm, disease, battle, drowning. It didn't matter how strong you were. The sea and the sword cared nothing for muscles. Your mother is 31. She looks 50, but she's alive, managing her household, raising her children. The widow's life is hard, but it's a life. That's more than your father got. Tonight you dream of your father's face, but you're already forgetting what he looked like. You are 12, and your body is changing. Your mother gives you the talk about blood, about childbirth, about becoming a woman. She's practical about it, no mysticism, just facts. Women bleed. Women bear children. Women die doing it, sometimes. But here's the statistic she doesn't share. 20% of Viking women died in childbirth. 1 in 5. Those are terrible odds, yes, but compare them to men's odds. 70% of raiders dead before 40. 50% of farmers dead from injury or disease before 45. Even staying home, men died from infected wounds, from tree felling accidents, from barn fires, from drowning while fishing. Your odds as a woman: if you survive childbirth, and most do, you'll likely outlive every man you know. Eric is 15 now. He's been on 2 short coastal raids. He came back with a silver arm ring and a cut on his shoulder that festered for weeks. Your mother cleaned it with heated honey and wrapped it in clean linen. He survived, but the scar is ugly and puckered. Halvard is 13, desperate to join his brother. Your mother forbids it. They fight about it constantly. You learn to weave on the upright loom. It's meditative, rhythmic. Pass the shuttle, beat the weft. Pass the shuttle, beat the weft. Hours disappear into the growing cloth. Your mother says you have good hands for it. The other girls your age giggle about boys, about marriage. You watch the young men showing off, wrestling, boasting about future raids. You notice which ones have all their fingers. Not many. Farming accidents took fingers, toes, sometimes whole hands. Infections followed. Men died from the smallest cuts. Tonight, you bleed for the first time. Your mother gives you folded wool cloth and tells you that you're entering the most dangerous years of your life. But you'll probably survive them. Most women do. You are 15, and men are looking at you differently now. Your mother notices. She starts talking about marriage arrangements. You have no romantic illusions. Marriage is an economic transaction, a political alliance, a survival strategy. There's a young man named Olaf from the next valley, 22 years old, already been on 4 raids, has both eyes and all his fingers. That makes him a catch. His father owns 3 times the land your mother has. The families negotiate. What nobody says aloud: Olaf is shopping for a wife because his first wife died. Childbirth. The baby died too. He needs heirs, needs someone to manage his household while he's away raiding. He needs a woman who can weave, who can manage thralls, who can keep him alive through the winter. Your mother examines him like livestock. Teeth, good. Scars, not too many. Limping, no. Cough, no. Eyes, clear. He'll clear. He'll do. You meet him twice before the wedding is arranged. He's not cruel, not stupid. He speaks adequately. That's enough. Romance is for saga tales, not real life. Meanwhile, Eric has been on his 4th raid. He's 17, covered in silver, full of stories about killing Franks. He's also developing a persistent cough that worries your mother. Ship lung, some call it, from sleeping in damp conditions, from breathing sea spray for weeks. Halvard is 15, finally allowed to go on his first raid next spring. He's ecstatic. Your mother is resigned. The pattern is becoming clear to you now. Men leave. Women wait. Men die. Women survive. Men seek glory. Women seek continuity. Tonight, you're fitted for your bridal dress. Red wool. Expensive. Your mother has woven the cloth herself over 2 years. You'll wear it once, then pack it away for your daughter someday. If you survive childbirth. 1 in 5 don't. You are 16, married to Olaf for 3 months, and pregnant. Your mother warned you it would happen quickly. She was right. You live in Olaf's longhouse now, much larger than your mother's. There are 4 thralls, 3 women and 1 man to help with the work. You manage them. It's your job to organize the household, preserve food for winter, oversee textile production, manage the dairy. Olaf left on a raid 2 weeks after your wedding. He'll be gone for 3 months, maybe 4, maybe forever. This is your life now. Waiting. Managing. Surviving. Your belly grows. You're terrified, but you don't show it. Fear is useless. You've seen childbirth. You've heard the screaming. You know the statistics, even if nobody speaks them. 1 in 5 women die. But 4 in 5 live. Those are better odds than Olaf faces on his ship. You keep the household running. The thrall women are older, experienced. They teach you things your mother didn't have time for. How to make rennet for cheese. How to identify when barley is perfectly malted for brewing. How to smoke fish so it lasts through winter. Back home, Eric's cough has worsened. Your mother sends word. He's fevered, coughing blood. Ship lung turned to something worse. He's 18 years old and dying. Halvard is on his first raid. No word yet if he's alive or dead. Your husband is somewhere in Francia, fighting or trading or drinking. You don't know which. And you? You're weaving cloth, managing thralls, growing a baby, and calculating survival odds in your head. The reality of Viking life. Women controlled the household economy, managed property, made decisions. When men were gone, and men were always gone, women ran everything. The power was real, even if saga tales rarely mentioned it. Tonight you feel the baby kick for the first time. 4 months along. 5 more to go. 1 in 5 odds of dying. 4 in 5 of living. You'll take those odds. You are 17 and you have survived childbirth. Your son is 2 weeks old. You named him Gunnar after your father. The birth took 16 hours. You screamed until your voice broke. The midwife and thrall women held you down, fed you honey water, told you to push. You tore, you bled. You thought you would die. But you didn't. 4 in 5 women survive. You were one of the 4. Little Gunnar is healthy, hungry, loud. You're exhausted. Breastfeeding hurts. Your body feels destroyed. Nobody told you recovery would be like this. The bleeding that continues for weeks. The pain when you walk. The overwhelming exhaustion. But you're alive. That's more than can be said for your brother Eric. Word came 3 weeks ago. He died of fever and lung sickness, never even making it on his 5th raid. 18 years old. Your mother buried him next to your father and Bjorn. 3/4 of her children are dead. Only you and Halvard remain. And Halvard? Still no word from his first raid. It's been 5 months. Ship should have returned by now. Olaf came back, though. He returned 2 weeks before the birth, bearing silver and Frankish glass beads for you. He lost 2 toes to frostbite over the winter, but he's alive. He looked at you, hugely pregnant, with satisfaction. An heir on the way. Property secured. Now he holds his son awkwardly, like the baby might break. Men don't raise infants. That's women's work. He'll teach the boy weapons and ships later. If the boy lives. If Olaf lives. Infant mortality. 1 in 3 children died before age 5. Mostly from disease, from accidents, from simple bad luck. The math of survival is everywhere you look. Dead fathers, dead brothers, dead babies. But you survived childbirth. Your son lives. For now, that's victory enough. Tonight, you feed your son and count the dead in your mind. It's becoming a habit. You are 19, and your son Gunnar is 2 years old. He walks, he talks, he's into everything. He'll probably survive now. The dangerous years, birth to 5, are half over, and he's healthy. You're pregnant again. 6 months along. Your body barely recovered from the first birth before Olaf came back from another raid and put another baby in you. This is how it works. Men raid, come home, impregnate wives, leave again. The statistics would horrify you if you knew them clearly. The average Viking woman who survived to adulthood gave birth 6 to 8 times. 1 or 2 died in childbirth with her. 2 or 3 babies died in infancy. If you were lucky, 3 or 4 children made it to adulthood. But here's the thing. Even with those brutal numbers, women still outlived men. Childbirth was deadly, yes, but raiding was deadlier. Farming was deadlier. Even fishing was deadlier. Word finally came about Halvard. He died in his first battle. 19 years old, cut down by a Frankish sword before he could even swing his axe. His body was burned on a foreign beach. No grave for him, no mourning stone. Just gone. Your mother now has only you. 1 child of 5 surviving. She's 42 years old and looks 60. The grief has carved her face into canyons. She visits you often now, helps with Gunnar, teaches you tricks for managing pregnancy while caring for a toddler. She's practical about it. Sit more, delegate more, rest when you can. She doesn't cry about Halvard, but her hands shake when she spins. Olaf is planning another raid for spring. He's 25, covered in scars, limping slightly, 1 ear half missing from a sword cut. He's successful by raiding standards, lots of silver, land expanding, 2 thralls added to the household. But his body is breaking down. You notice these things now, how men accumulate damage, how each raid takes something from them, how the successful ones are the scarred ones, the ones missing pieces. Tonight, Gunnar falls asleep in your lap, and you feel the new baby kick. 2 heartbeats. Maybe both will survive. Probably you will. You are 20, and your second son, Thorvald, is 6 months old. You survived the second childbirth. It was faster than the first, only 8 hours, but you tore again. More bleeding, more pain, but you lived. 2 sons now, 2 chances at heirs. Olaf is satisfied. He talks about a third, maybe a fourth. You don't tell him that each birth takes something from you, that your body can't sustain this forever. What would be the point? This is what wives do: produce heirs, manage households, survive. Your mother helps you constantly now, She's 43 but acts ancient. 5 dead children have broken something in her that won't repair. She holds baby Thorvald for hours, singing the same songs she sang to you, to your dead brothers. She tells you things now that she never mentioned before. How she had 7 pregnancies, but 2 babies were stillborn. How your father made her pregnant 10 times in 15 years. How her body gave out after you were born, couldn't carry another child to term. 7 live births, 5 dead children, 2 surviving. That was her life's math. Now she watches you with your 2 healthy boys, and something like hope flickers in her tired eyes. Maybe your line will continue. Maybe your sons will be the lucky ones who survive. But the odds say otherwise. Gunnar and Thorvald face the same brutal statistics their uncles did. If they choose the raiding life, 70% mortality before 40. If they stay farmers, still 50% dead before 45, from accidents, disease, injury. Your odds. If you survive childbirth a few more times, and you probably will, you'll likely see 60, maybe 70. Olaf is preparing for his 8th raid. He's 26, moves like a man of 40, drinks heavily to manage the pain in his sword-damaged shoulder. 8 raids. Each one took something. Toes, ear tip, finger joints, teeth, mobility, health. Tonight you nurse Thorvald while Gunnar sleeps beside you. 2 sons, both alive. For now that's enough. You are 22, and Olaf is dead. He died 3 weeks ago in Frisia, killed in a battle over trading rights. His crew brought his body back. They liked him enough for that. You buried him with his sword, shield, and favourite drinking horn. You are a widow now, mother to 3 sons. Gunnar is 4, Thorvald is 2, and baby Leif is 3 months old. Olaf never met Leif. He left before the pregnancy showed, died before the birth. You own his land now, his property, his thralls. You are 22 years old and the head of a household. This is both terrifying and liberating. The statistics are clicking into place in your mind now. Olaf made it to 27. That's better than most. 8 successful raids before his 9th killed him. Your father died at 36. Bjorn at 14. Eric at 18. Halvard at 19. The men die. The women continue. Your mother moves in with you. She's 45 now, unable to manage her own household anymore. The work is too much, her grief too heavy. She helps with the babies, with the spinning, with the endless textile production that keeps your household fed. Together, you 2 widows run everything. The farm produces barley. The goats give milk and cheese. The thralls handle heavy labour. Your woven cloth trades for iron tools, salt, luxury goods. You're not rich, but you're surviving. You will not marry again. The law allows it. You could be claimed by Olaf's brother, or married off to another warrior. But you have 3 sons, land and legal rights. You can refuse, and you do. You've seen enough dead husbands. The village has 12 widows now. You're the youngest. The eldest is 71, outlived 3 husbands and 6 sons. She sits by fires, spinning, telling stories about the dead. Tonight, you nurse baby Leif and watch Gunnar sleep. 4 years old. He talks about becoming a warrior like his father. You say nothing, but in your mind you're already calculating. How to keep him alive. How to break the cycle. You are 25, and you haven't had another baby. 3 years without pregnancy. This is deliberate. Your mother taught you the secrets women pass down. Certain herbs, certain timing, certain practices. The knowledge is never written, never spoken to men, but women know. Women control their fertility more than saga tales admit. You're done with childbirth. 3 sons is enough. More would kill you. You feel it in your damaged body, in the way your insides ache, in the scars that never fully healed. 1 in 5 die, yes, but you're not willing to roll those dice again. Your sons are 7, 5, and 3 now, all healthy, all surviving past the dangerous infant years. Gunnar is sharp and quick. Torvald is gentle and thoughtful. Leif is wild and fearless. You love them desperately and dread their futures equally. Your household is prosperous. Your textiles are known for their quality, tight weave, even dye, intricate patterns. You trade them for everything you need. You've acquired 2 more thralls, both women skilled in dairy work. You own 20 goats, 4 cows, and a decent barley field. You're wealthier than your father ever was, and you did it as a widow, as a woman alone. The mathematics of survival have become clear. Women who avoid dying in childbirth often become formidable economic powers. You control property, trade networks, household production. When men are dead or raiding, women run the economy. Your mother is 48 now, slowing down but still sharp. She handles the boys when you're managing trades, when you're negotiating with merchants, when you're making decisions about planting or harvest. The village respects you. Young widow, 3 sons, successful household. You've proven yourself, but at night you lie alone in the wide bed where Olaf died 3 years ago, and you wonder, is this it? 30 more years of this, 40. You could live to 70, like the eldest widow. So much time to survive. That's the strange truth. Surviving is the easy part. Living with survival is harder. You are 28, and your mother is dying. She's 51 years old by Viking standards, and a fever has taken hold that won't release her. You sit beside her bed, wiping her forehead with cool water. She's delirious, calling out names of dead children. Bjorn, Eric, Halvard. Sometimes your father's name. She's spent 30 years mourning, and now she's joining them. The fever came from nowhere. 3 days ago she was fine, spinning wool, telling stories to the boys. Then chills. Then burning skin. Then confusion. There's nothing you can do. Fever either breaks or it doesn't. Medicine is guesswork. Herbs, prayers, hope. Your sons are 10, 8, and 6 now. They whisper in corners, confused by death happening slowly instead of in battle. Gunnar asks intelligent questions about disease. Thorvald cries quietly. Leif pretends nothing is wrong. Your mother dies on the 4th day of fever. 51 years old. She outlived her husband by 15 years, outlived 4 of her 5 children. You're the only one left of her bloodline, the sole survivor of her 7 births. You burn her body on a pyre, as is custom. The village gathers. 12 other widows stand in a row, watching one of their own disappear into smoke. You're not the youngest widow anymore. 3 newer ones have joined the ranks. Husbands dead in raids. Husbands dead from accidents. Husbands dead from disease. The pattern continues, eternal and unchanging. Your mother's last coherent words to you. You'll live to be old. You're too stubborn to die young. She was right, probably. You can feel it in your bones. You'll survive decades more. The question is whether you'll want to. Tonight, you sit alone in the longhouse that feels too empty. Your sons sleep. The thralls sleep. You're the matriarch now, the eldest woman of your bloodline. 50 more years of this, maybe. That's the blessing and curse of being a Viking woman who survives childbirth. You are 31 and Gunnar is 13. He's asking about raids. You knew this was coming. Every boy asks eventually. The sea calls to them, the promise of silver and glory, the chance to prove themselves men. Your father felt it, your brothers felt it, your husband felt it. Now your son feels it. You tell him no, not yet. Wait until 15, at least. Learn farming first, trading, practical skills. He argues, other boys his age are already training seriously with weapons. You stand firm, but you know you can't stop him forever. Boys become men. Men seek violence. It's the pattern, endless and brutal. The statistics haunt you. 70% of raiders never reach 40. Gunnar is your firstborn, your brightest, your best chance at grandsons who might survive. And he wants to throw himself into the same meat grinder that took his father, his uncles, his grandfather. You're running a thriving household now. 10 thralls, 30 goats, good land, respected reputation. You trade with merchants from as far as Byzantium. Your textiles are prized. You've accumulated wealth that would make your father weep with envy. And all of it is fragile, dependent on your sons surviving to adulthood. Thorvald, now 11, shows no interest in raiding. He loves animals, loves the farm, loves the steady work of growing things. You pin your hopes on him secretly. Maybe one son can survive by staying home. Leif is 9 and wild as ever. He fights constantly, picks battles with boys twice his size, comes home bloody and grinning. He'll be worse than Gunnar when his time comes. You make a decision. You'll use your wealth to delay Gunnar's raiding as long as possible. You'll pay for his training with the best warriors, yes. But you'll also teach him trading, negotiation, languages. Maybe you can steer him toward merchant raiding instead of pure violence. Merchant raiders die less, not much less, but every percentage point matters. Tonight, Gunnar polishes a sword you commissioned for him. Real iron, good balance. You watch him and see your father, your brothers, your husband, all dead before 35. Please, you think. Please let the odds favor him. You are 34, and your household has expanded again. You've taken in 2 more widows, young ones, 20 and 23, both with small children. Their husbands died in the same raid 6 months ago. Your longhouse is now a community of women and children. 15 thralls, 3 widows besides yourself, 8 children total. The men are ghosts, dead fathers, absent uncles, remembered grandfathers. This is how Viking society actually functions, though the saga tales never mention it. Women clustering together for survival, pooling resources, raising children collectively, managing the economy while men chase death overseas. Gunnar is 16 now. You lost the battle. He went on his first raid last summer, just a short coastal trip, trading and light raiding in Frisia. He came back alive, thank the gods, with a small silver arm ring and a shallow cut across his ribs that healed cleanly. 1 raid survived, dozens more to come. Thorvald is 14 and has declared he won't raid. He wants to stay, to farm, to breed better animals. You could weep with relief, but you don't show it. One son who might live past 40. That's more than most mothers get. Leif is 12 and counting days until he can join Gunnar. He worships his older brother, practices constantly, picks fights to gain experience. You see your brother Halvard in him, the same desperate need to prove himself, the same rush toward violence. The young widows look to you for guidance. You teach them what your mother taught you: how to negotiate, how to manage thralls, how to control fertility, how to trade, how to survive. They're terrified, overwhelmed, but they're learning. One of them asks you, "Does it get easier?" You consider lying, but what's the point? "No," you tell her, "but you get stronger." The mathematics are clear now. Your household has 18 people. 3 are adult men, thralls. 15 are women and children. This ratio, this overwhelming predominance of women, is normal. Men die. Women continue. Tonight you sit with the other widows, spinning wool in the firelight.
You are 37, and Gunnar has been on 4 raids. He's 19 now, covered in scars, walking with a slight limp from a spear wound that didn't heal quite right. He's alive, though. 4 raids survived. The odds are still in his favor. Barely. Leif went on his first raid this summer at 15. He came back missing 2 fingers on his left hand, axe accident during a skirmish. He's proud of the injury, shows it off like a trophy. You want to scream at his stupidity. But what good would it do? 2 sons raiding, 1 son farming. Those are your odds now. Torvald is 17, managing most of the farm work himself. He's good at it, patient and thorough. He's also courting a girl from the next valley, Inga, daughter of a wealthy farmer. No warriors in her family. They all died a generation ago. Her father wants Torvald precisely because he's not a raider. You approve the match. Finally, something going right. Your household continues to be a haven for widows. 5 now, plus their children. 18 people living under your roof, or in the new building you constructed nearby. You're running a small village at this point. The economics work. More hands for textile production, more dairy workers, more labor for harvest. You trade surplus for luxury goods, for iron tools, for status items. You're wealthy, truly wealthy, and it's all built on women's work, while men die overseas. You've started training the next generation of girls in household management. They need to know how to survive as widows, because most of them will be. The mathematics are inescapable. One of the older thralls, a woman named Gudrun who's been with you 15 years, dies of old age. She's 58. She outlived her original master, his son, and 2 wives. Thralls who survive to old age often outlive their owners. Another data point. Slavery is brutal, but raiding is more brutal. Tonight, you calculate. Gunnar has maybe a 50-50 chance. You are 40 and you're burying your second son. Leif died 3 weeks ago in Ireland, 17 years old, an arrow through the throat. He bled out on a beach far from home. They burned his body there, no bringing him back like they did for Olaf. Your mother buried 4 sons. You've buried 1 so far. The mathematics say you'll bury more before you're done. The grief is different than you expected, sharper. You thought you'd prepared yourself. You knew Leif was reckless, knew his odds were terrible. But knowing doesn't help. Your baby boy, the wild one, the fearless one, gone. 17 years of life, then nothing. Gunnar is 22, home from the raid that killed his brother. He's hollow-eyed, drinking too much, blaming himself for not protecting Leif. You want to tell him it's not his fault, but it is, a little. He encouraged Leif's warrior dreams, fed his little brother's hunger for glory. Now Gunnar talks about stopping raids, staying home, learning trading instead. You don't believe him. He's said this before, after close calls. But maybe Leif's death will finally teach him something. Thorvald is 20, married to Inga for 6 months, and she's pregnant. Your first grandchild coming. Life and death balanced on the scales. You have 1 living son and 1 dead son now. The ratio will probably get worse. The household mourns Leif, even the thralls. He was kind to them in his chaotic way. The widows comfort you, bringing the particular understanding that only other mothers of dead sons possess. One widow is 62, lost 5 sons to raids and disease. She sits with you for hours, saying nothing, just spinning wool. The rhythm is meditative. Spin, twist, drop. Spin, twist, drop. The work continues, whether or not sons die. You're 40 years old. You could live another 30 years, maybe 40. Decades more of burying people you love. This is the curse of survival. You outlive everyone. Tonight, you hold Leif's favourite knife, the one he carried constantly until he left for Ireland. You'll keep it. Add it to the growing collection of dead men's belongings you can't throw away.
You are 43, and you're a grandmother. Thorvald and Inga have 2 children now. Daughter Astrid, named for you, is 3, and son Haldor is 1. Both healthy, thriving. Small miracles in a world of death. Gunnar is 25, still raiding despite his promises to stop. 7 raids now. He's missing 3 fingers on his right hand. Lost them 2 years ago in a shield wall formation that collapsed. He can still fight, still grip a sword, but he's slower, clumsier. You see it in him, the accumulation of damage. Each raid takes something: fingers, toes, teeth, mobility, health. He's 25 and moves like a man of 40. His father died at 27. The timeline feels ominous. But today isn't about Gunnar. Today is about watching your granddaughter Astrid learn to spin wool. She's 3 years old, chubby hands struggling with the child-sized drop spindle you made her. Inga guides her fingers patiently. This is continuity. This is why women survive. To teach the next generation, to pass down knowledge, to maintain the skills that keep households running. Little Astrid will probably grow up to be a widow too. She'll probably bury husbands and sons. But she'll survive it, because you're teaching her how. The household has grown again. 7 widows now. Their children, the thralls. 25 people depending on you for leadership, for work organization, for economic decisions. You're running a small farming collective, really. Your textile operation is legendary now. Traders come specifically for your household's cloth. You've trained 15 women in your techniques. Even the thralls produce quality work. The wealth accumulates. Silver, bronze,
iron goods, trade connections. You could buy Gunnar out of raiding if he'd let you. Pay his way into pure merchant work. But he won't accept it. Male pride, male stupidity. The need to prove himself in violence rather than trade.
You are 46, and Gunnar is dying. Not in battle, worse. A wound infection from his last raid. 3 months ago, a sword cut across his thigh. It seemed minor. He cleaned it, wrapped it, came home. But the flesh turned bad. Red, swollen, weeping pus. Fever came. You've tried everything. Honey, heated iron to burn out the infection, prayers, herbal poultices. Nothing works. He's 28 years old, lying in the bed where his father died 19 years ago. The symmetry is cruel. Same bed, same age, same stupid waste. Infection killed more warriors than battle. A small cut, untreated or badly treated, turning septic. Fever, delirium, death. Simple and brutal. Gunnar knows he's dying. He's lucid sometimes, between fever dreams. He apologizes for not staying home, for not listening, for wasting his life on raids. You tell him you forgive him, even though you don't, not really. He chose this. Thorvald sits with his brother for hours, holding his hand, telling him about the farm, about the children. Gunnar asks about little Astrid, now 6, and Haldor, now 4, asks if they'll remember him. No, you think. They won't. You barely remember your father, and you were 7 when he died. But you say yes, they'll remember. What else can you say to a dying man? The household gathers for the vigil. The widows know this ritual well. They've done it for their own husbands, sons, fathers, watching death come slowly, unable to stop it. Gunnar dies on the 12th day of his illness, 28 years old. 9 raids survived, killed by a cut that wouldn't heal. His last words are delirious nonsense about ships and silver. You burn his body with his weapons. His silver goes to Thorvald. You keep one of his arm rings to give to Haldor someday. 2 sons buried now. 1 son living. The mathematics are moving in expected directions. You're 46 years old. You'll probably live another 25 years or more. More funerals ahead, certainly. More dead men to mourn. Tonight, you sit in the empty longhouse after the funeral feast. Thorvald has taken his family home. The widows sleep. You're alone with your thoughts, and you're dead. You are 49, and Thorvald has given you 4 grandchildren now. Little Astrid is 9, Haldor is 7, and the new twins, boys named Bjorn and Eric after your dead brothers, are 2. Thorvald is 29, prosperous and healthy. He's everything his brothers weren't. Careful, steady, long-term thinking. His farm is the most successful in the region. His children are well-fed and educated. He'll probably live to be old. 1 son surviving. That's better than most mothers get. Your household continues as a widow collective. 9 widows now, ranging in age from 19 to 68. The 19-year-old lost her husband last month. Raiding accident. Drowned when the ship capsized. She has a 6-month-old baby and nothing else. You take her in, like you've taken in all the others. This is what women do. Build communities of survival. Pool resources. Raise each other's children. Teach each other skills. The statistics are overwhelming, now that you've lived long enough to see them clearly. In your village of about 200 people, there are 37 widows and 12 married women. Widows outnumber wives 3 to 1. This is normal. This is Viking life. Men die at such rates that widowhood is the default state of adult women. You're teaching 9-year-old Astrid the accounts now. How to use counting boards, how to calculate trade values, how to manage complex household economics. She's sharp, sharper than her father even. She asks why there are so many widows. You tell her the truth. Men seek violence.
Violence kills them. Women survive. Simple as that. She processes this with a child's stark logic. So, I'll be a widow too? Probably, you say. But you'll survive it. Women do. The household wealth has reached a point where you're considering expanding into actual trading voyages. Not raiding, trading. Sending ships with goods, not warriors. Thorvald supports this. He sees the economic potential. Tonight you sit with the 9 widows, spinning wool as always.
You are 52 and you're experiencing something new. Your body is changing. The monthly bleeding has stopped. Hot flashes wake you at night, drenched in sweat. Your joints ache in the morning. You're entering old age. The irony isn't lost on you. You've outlived both your husbands, both your sons who raided, your father, all 3 brothers. You're 52 and entering the old woman stage of life that most men never reach. In your village there are 14 men over 50. There are 46 women over 50. Women who survive childbirth simply keep surviving, while men's bodies break down from violence and labor. You're wealthy now, genuinely wealthy. Your trading operation is successful, your textile production legendary, your farm holdings extensive through various strategic acquisitions. You employ 30 people. You're a significant economic power. Thorvald is 32, his farm thriving, his 5 children healthy. Inga is pregnant again with their 6th. She jokes that she's trying to replace all the dead men in the family single-handedly. Dark humor, but you appreciate it. Little Astrid is 12 now, and she's brilliant. You're training her to take over the household eventually. She grasps economics intuitively, negotiates with adult merchants without fear, manages the accounts better than you did at twice her age. The youngest widow in your household is 23, lost her husband to a shipwreck last year. She's pregnant. The baby will never know its father. Another fatherless child for the collective to raise. This is how society actually functions. Women-centered households raising children collectively, with men as transient presences who provide silver and semen before dying young. You've started recording things, scratching runes into wood, keeping track of trades, marriages, births, deaths, creating records. It's unusual for someone like you. Usually only jarls and wealthy men keep records. But you want to document this. The reality of women's survival, the economics of widowhood, the truth behind the saga tales. Tonight, you sit with your records and calculate. In your lifetime, you've personally known 83 men who died before age 40. You've known 6 women who died in childbirth. You are 55 and you're a great-grandmother. 12-year-old Astrid, named for you, just gave birth to a daughter at 15. Married at 13 to a 20-year-old farmer from the coast, pregnant at 14, mother at 15. The cycle continues. The girl is terrified, exhausted, lucky to have survived. You sit with her, remembering your own first birth at 17. The pain, the fear, the relief at survival. Her husband is home from his first raid, 22 now, missing half an ear, boasting about his silver. Young Astrid looks at him with resigned eyes that seem ancient in her young face. She already knows. He'll die. She'll survive. She'll raise this baby and the others that follow. You're teaching her everything now. How to manage a household, how to control fertility after this first baby, how to trade, how to survive widowhood. She's 15, with an old woman's knowledge already. Thorvald is 35, 6 children grown or growing. His eldest son, Haldor, is 17, and, thankfully, showing no interest in raiding. He loves farming, loves the animals, wants to build on his father's success.
2 generations of men who chose life over glory. It's working. Your household collective has reached its peak. 12 widows, 23 children at various ages, 35 thralls. 70 people in your complex of buildings. You're running a small town. The economics are staggering. Your textile operation employs 40 people. Your trading ships, merchants, not raiders, travel to Byzantium, Britain, Francia. You own partial shares in fishing boats, salt works, iron mines. You're possibly the wealthiest woman in 3 valleys. And you built it all as a widow. You and the other widows working together, pooling resources, creating economic power that rivals jarls. The younger generation of men notice. Some respect it, others resent it. Women having power, making decisions, controlling wealth. Too bad. The women earned it by surviving. Tonight, you hold your great-granddaughter, another Astrid, 4th generation, and calculate timelines. You're 55. This baby might live to be 60 if she's lucky. That means she could see the year 1030, or beyond. You could die and she could live another 55 years after that. Time stretches, survival stretches. Women's lives are long arcs across decades, while men's lives are bright, brief sparks.
You are 58, and your body is failing in small ways. Your knees ache constantly. Your hands cramp from the arthritis. You can't see fine details anymore. The textile work is harder now. You walk with a stick. But you're alive. That's more than 90% of the men you've known can say. Thorvald is 38, still healthy, still prosperous. His children are growing well. Haldor, now 20, has married and has his first child on the way. The peaceful generations continue. Young Astrid is 18 now, with 3 children. Her husband died in his 3rd raid last year. 25 years old, drowned when his ship sank in a storm. She's a widow now, just like you predicted. She moved into your household complex with her children, joining the collective. You teach her what you taught yourself, how to be a young widow, how to manage property, how to survive. She's learning quickly, the old soul in her young body fully emerged now. The household has changed. Some of the eldest widows have died. The 68-year-old passed 2 years ago, the 71-year-old last winter. You're becoming one of the eldest now. The younger widows look to you with the same respect you once gave the ancient ones. Your wealth is being distributed strategically now. Thorvald gets the farm and main holdings. The widow collective gets the textile operation and trading rights. Young Astrid gets enough to establish herself independently, if she chooses. You're planning your legacy, making sure the women are protected after you're gone. The records you've kept are extensive now. 40 years of births, deaths, marriages, trades. You've documented 127 men who died before 40. You've documented 11 women who died in childbirth. The ratio is stark, undeniable. Sometimes visiting jarls or wealthy men ask to see your records. They're surprised by what you've documented. The economic power of widows, the survival rates, the reality behind the saga tales. Some are uncomfortable with it. You don't care. Tonight, you sit by the fire with young Astrid, teaching her to read the runes you've scratched. You are 61, and you're dying. Not dramatically, no battle wound, no childbirth trauma, just old age. The slow winding down of a body that has worked for 61 years. The cough started 6 months ago. It's gotten worse, deeper, productive. You're thin now, eating little, sleeping poorly. You know what this is. The end. You're not afraid. You've buried so many people,
husbands, sons, brothers, parents, friends. Death is familiar, almost welcome. 61 years is a long life. You've seen and done everything you needed to. Thorvald sits with you often, holding your hand. He's 41 now, grey-bearded, wealthy, successful. One son who survived. You're proud of him. He chose life over glory, wisdom over violence. His children are thriving, his grandchildren healthy. Young Astrid, now 21, manages much of the household. 3 children, widowed at 17, thriving now as a trader and household manager. You taught her well. She'll be fine. The Widow Collective continues without you. 8 widows, ranging from 25 to 60, managing the complex you built. They don't need you anymore. The system runs itself. Your great-great-granddaughter, now 5 years old, sits with you sometimes, asking questions about the old days. You tell her about your father, your brothers, your sons, all dead before their time. You tell her about survival, about women's work, about outliving men. She's too young to understand, but someday she will. When she's a widow herself, managing her own household, raising fatherless children, she'll remember these talks. You're making final arrangements. The records go to young Astrid, 43 years of documentation. The wealth is distributed according to your wishes. The thralls you've trained will be freed or sold to kind households. Everything is ordered. Tonight, Thorvald brings his whole family to sit with you. 6 children, 4 grandchildren, all crowding into your room. Life surrounding death. The cycle continues, whether you're part of it or not. You are dying, and you have time to think. Between coughing fits and moments of sleep, you review your 61 years. You married at 16, gave birth 3 times by 21, widowed at 22, raised 3 sons alone, buried 2 of them before they reached 30, watched 1 son survive by choosing peace. You built a household empire, started with nothing but widows' rights and determination, ended with wealth, power, property, influence, employed 70 people at the peak, traded across known world, kept records, documented truth. You outlived everyone who came before you, and most who came during. 2 husbands, both dead decades before you. 2 sons, dead 30+ years. Parents, siblings, friends, all dead. You're the last one standing from your generation, but that's normal for Viking women who survive childbirth. You're not special, you're typical. The mathematics were always clear. Men died at 70% before 40 if they raided, 50% before 45 if they didn't. Women who survived childbirth, most made it past 50, many to 60, some to 70 or beyond. You made it to 61. That's 20 to 30 years longer than the men. That's the answer to the question, why did Viking women outlive men by 20 years? Because men sought violence and women sought survival. Because raiding killed at higher rates than childbirth, and farming killed higher than household work. Because women built communities, and men built pyres. Because the saga tales celebrated death and ignored the women who lived. You cough again, harder. Thorvald is there with water. Good son, peaceful son, surviving son. Young Astrid enters with the records. 43 years of documentation. She's been reading them, understanding them. She'll continue recording, documenting the truth behind the tales. You gesture for her to come close. Your voice is weak now, each word an effort. Keep recording, you whisper. Document the truth. How many men die young? How many women survive? The real numbers, the real story. She nods, tears on her cheeks. I will. Good. The knowledge will continue. The pattern will be documented.
Future women will know. You close your eyes, tired, so tired. 61 years of work, of survival, of outliving. Enough. Astrid, the elder, the first, your namesake ancestor, is dead. But the story doesn't end. It never ends. Women continue. Young Astrid is 21 now, and she's the new matriarch. 3 children, widowed young, managing the household complex that her great-great-grandmother built. The records are hers now. 43 years of documentation, plus the years she'll add. She stands at the funeral pyre, watching the old woman burn. 61 years of life going up in smoke. The village has gathered. Everyone respects the woman who built an empire through survival. Thorvald speaks the eulogy. He talks about his mother's strength, her business acumen, her survival skills. He talks about how she outlived everyone, built wealth from nothing, created community from grief. He doesn't talk about the real lesson, but young Astrid knows it. Women survive by building, while men die seeking glory. The pyre burns hot. The old woman's body, already skeletal, disappears quickly into flame and smoke. Ashes to ashes. But her legacy remains in the buildings, the businesses, the community she built. Young Astrid touches the stack of records she carries. 43 years of death statistics, trade deals, births, marriages, the truth documented in runes. She'll continue it. She'll add her own years, document her own observations. The pattern will continue. Men will raid and die. Women will survive and manage. Widows will outnumber wives. The statistics will remain brutal and unchanging. But now there's documentation. Now there's proof. Now future women can point to the records and say, look, this is why we outlive you. This is why widowhood is normal. This is why women survive. The 8 widows stand with her, a chorus of survival. More will join them. Raiders' wives becoming raiders' widows. The community will continue absorbing losses, raising fatherless children, managing wealth. Tonight, young Astrid will begin her first entry in the continuing records. Today we burned the eldest Astrid. 61 years old. She outlived her husbands by decades, her raiding sons by 30+ years. She survived. The story shifts now. You are no longer the old Astrid. She's dead, ashes scattered. You are young Astrid, 21 years old, widow, mother of 3, keeper of records, matriarch of the household complex. This is your continuation, your survival, your documentation. You are 21 years old. Your husband died at 25. You've been a widow for 4 years. You have 3 children, daughters aged 6 and 4, and a son aged 2. You own property, run a textile business, manage 8 widows and 20 thralls. You're doing exactly what your great-great-grandmother did at your age. Surviving. The first thing you do is add to the records. You document the old Astrid's death. 61 years, cause, lung infection. Duration of final illness, 6 months. Survived by 1 son, peaceful farmer. 6 grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, 1 great-great-grandchild. Outlived 2 husbands by 39 and 34 years. Outlived 2 raider sons by 33 and 43 years. The numbers are stark, undeniable, true. You continue documenting. This year, 7 men from your village died. 5 in raids, 1 in farming accident, 1 from infection. 2 women died, both in childbirth. The ratio continues. Men die at higher rates from violence, women die from reproduction. But more women survive childbirth than men survive violence. Thorvald visits often. He's 41, like a father to you now that your own is dead and the old Astrid is gone. He brings his children, checks on your household, offers advice. He's proof that men can survive. by choosing peace over glory. His son Haldor, 21 like you, has just had his first child. Peaceful farmer, married young, building family. Third generation of survival. You note it in the records. Haldor, son of Thorvald, son of Gunnar, raider, died age 28, infected wound. Pattern broken by choosing peace. The widow community looks to you for leadership now. You're the youngest matriarch in memory, but you carry the old Astrid's knowledge. You know how to trade, how to manage, how to survive. Tonight, you sit with your 6-year-old daughter, teaching her to spin, the same way the old Astrid taught you, the same way her mother taught her. The knowledge passes down through women, generation after generation. Your daughter asks, "Will I be a widow like you, Mama?" You consider lying. But the records don't lie. The statistics don't lie. Probably, you say, but you'll survive it. We always do. You are 24, and your 2-year-old son has become a 5-year-old boy. Your daughters are 9 and 7. You're managing the household complex that continues growing. 10 widows now, 25 thralls, expanding trade operations. The records continue. 3 more years of documentation. 21 men dead in your village. Population still around 200. 14 from raids, 4 from accidents, 3 from disease. 3 women dead, all childbirth. The pattern holds. It always holds. Your trading ships, merchant vessels, not raid ships, are successful. You've established routes to Britain, Francia, Frisia. Pure commerce, no violence, profitable and safer. The male traders you employ have mortality rates of maybe 20% compared to 70% for raiders. You're proving the old Astrid's theory. You can have silver without seeking glory. You can build wealth without violence. It's just slower, steadier, less celebrated in saga tales. But you survive. Your employees survive. The wealth accumulates anyway. Thorvald is 44, his farm at peak productivity. Haldor is 24 like you, 2 children now, continuing peaceful prosperity. 4 generations since your great-great-great-grandfather Gunnar died raiding. 4 generations of documented survival through peace. Your son asks about fighting. He's 5, the age when boys start hero worship, start wanting swords. You tell him about his father. Died at 25, drowned in raid, body never recovered. You tell him about his great-great-grandfather Gunnar. Died at 28, infection from sword wound. You tell him about Leif. Died at 17, arrow through throat. Then you tell him about Thorvald, about Haldor, about the men who lived by choosing peace. He's 5. He doesn't understand. But you're planting seeds. Maybe they'll grow. The widow community has evolved into something more formal now. You've written rules, inheritance structures, profit-sharing agreements. It's not just mutual support anymore. It's a business collective. Women controlling means of production, managing wealth, making decisions. Some men complain. Traditional jarls don't like women having power. Too bad. Your legal rights are clear. Your wealth is real. Your community is strong. Tonight, you add to the records. Year 3 of my documentation. 21 men dead. 3 women dead. The pattern continues as it always has. But now we document it. Now we know why we survive. You are 37, and Gunnar has been on 4 raids. He's 19 now, covered in scars, walking with a slight limp from a spear wound that didn't heal quite right. He's alive, though. 4 raids survived. The odds are still in his favor. Barely. Leif went on his first raid this summer at 15. He came back missing 2 fingers on his left hand,
Axe accident during a skirmish. He's proud of the injury, shows it off like a trophy. You want to scream at his stupidity. But what good would it do? 2 sons raiding, 1 son farming. Those are your odds now. Torvald is 17, managing most of the farm work himself. He's good at it, patient and thorough. He's also courting a girl from the next valley, Inga, daughter of a wealthy farmer. No warriors in her family. They all died a generation ago. Her father wants Torvald precisely because he's not a raider. You approve the match. Finally, something going right. Your household continues to be a haven for widows. 5 now, plus their children. 18 people living under your roof, or in the new building you constructed nearby. You're running a small village at this point. The economics work. More hands for textile production, more dairy workers, more labor for harvest. You trade surplus for luxury goods, for iron tools, for status items. You're wealthy, truly wealthy, and it's all built on women's work, while men die overseas. You've started training the next generation of girls in household management. They need to know how to survive as widows, because most of them will be. The mathematics are inescapable. One of the older thralls, a woman named Gudrun who's been with you 15 years, dies of old age. She's 58. She outlived her original master, his son, and 2 wives. Thralls who survive to old age often outlive their owners. Another data point. Slavery is brutal, but raiding is more brutal. Tonight, you calculate. Gunnar has maybe a 50-50 chance.
Torvald is 47, Haldor is 27 with 4 children. 5 generations since Gunnar the Raider died. 5 generations of documented survival through choosing peace over glory. Tonight, you update the records. Year 6 of my documentation. Men continue dying at rates 7 times higher than women. Wealth accumulation through peace proves more successful than wealth through raiding. But culture still celebrates death over survival. Still teaching boys to seek glory, girls to survive men's absence. The contradiction remains unsolved. You are 30, and your son is 11. The age when boys start training seriously for violence. You're running out of time to keep him peaceful. The cultural pressure is immense. Every other boy his age is training with weapons, learning shield wall formations, dreaming of raids. Your son is isolated, mocked, called coward by peers. He comes to you crying, begging for real weapons training. "The other boys say I'm not a real man," he sobs. "They say our family is rich because you're a woman doing man's work." They say I'm weak. You want to scream at the unfairness. You've kept him alive. 11 years without injury, disease, violence. You've given him wealth, education, skills, and society calls it weakness. You compromise. You hire a retired warrior, 53 years old, missing arm, multiple scars, to teach your son weapons. But you make the warrior tell the truth. "I survived 27 raids. I lost 43 friends. I lost my arm. I lost my youth. Now I live on a widow's charity teaching boys to die like I nearly did. Think hard about what glory costs." Your son is 11. He doesn't understand. He sees the scars as marks of honor, not marks of damage. The Widow Collective is 14 women now. You've formalized everything. Written contracts, inheritance rules, profit-sharing structures,
voting procedures. It's essentially a corporation run by widows. Your wealth rivals Jarl's now. You own 4 trading ships, shares in mines, warehouses in 3 countries. You employ 60 people. Your household complex has expanded to 5 buildings, all of it built by widows and peaceful traders, none of it requiring raids. But society still celebrates raiders, not traders, still writes sagas about warriors, not textile producers, still teaches boys that violence equals manhood. Thorvald is 50 now, old by Viking standards, healthy, prosperous, grandfather to 8, living proof that peace works. But his example doesn't change culture. Your daughters are 15 and 13, learning household management, textile production, trading, being prepared for inevitable widowhood. They accept it with resigned practicality.
Tonight, you update records. Year 9 of documentation. Culture celebrates death while punishing survival. My son wants weapons training. I cannot stop it. Society is too strong. Another generation of boys choosing glory over life. The pattern continues despite all evidence of its waste. You're losing the battle against culture. You can save individual boys like Thorvald's line, but not all of them. Not yours, apparently. You are 33, and your son is 14. Training with weapons for 3 years now. He's good at it. Fast, strong, eager. Everything you feared. He talks about joining a raid at 15. Just a coastal trading run, he promises. Low risk, good experience. You've heard this before. Thorvald promised low risk. Haldor promised low risk. Men always promise low risk. Then they die. The retired warrior teacher takes you aside. Your son has talent, he says. Natural fighter. But that just means he'll take more risks, fight harder, die more dramatically. Talent kills as surely as incompetence. You're trapped. If you forbid raiding, your son will resent you, leave at 18, raid anyway without preparation. If you allow it, you're sending him to probable death. 70% mortality for raiders. Your son's odds of dying before 40. The Widow Collective is 16 women now. 2 new ones joined last month, both 20-somethings, both with infant children, both widowed when their husbands died in the same raid. The pattern continues, endless and brutal. You take your son to meet them. Look, you say, look at what raiding creates. Dead husbands, fatherless babies, young widows. This is glory's result. He looks uncomfortable but unconvinced. That won't be me, he says. Every warrior thinks that. Your daughters are 18 and 16 now. The eldest is betrothed to Haldor's son, peaceful farmer, 4th generation of survival. She'll marry into safety. Small relief. The youngest daughter is showing business talent, negotiating trades, managing accounts. She'll take over the collective eventually. But your son, your beautiful, brave, stupid son, wants glory. Thorvald is 53 now, slowing down but healthy. 8 grandchildren, all raised in peace. He talks to your son, explains the benefits of peaceful prosperity. Your son listens politely and ignores him. Culture is too strong. Peer pressure is too strong. The saga tales are too strong. Your love and logic and statistical evidence, all powerless against cultural narrative that celebrates death. Tonight you update records. Year 12 of documentation. Cannot save my son from culture. He chooses glory despite evidence. I've shown him the statistics, introduced him to widows, explained the math. He doesn't care. Male need for status overcomes survival instinct, preparing to become widow again, this time to my son. You're pre-mourning. It's all you can do. You are 36 and your son is 17. He's going on his first raid in 2 weeks. You couldn't stop him. He's tall now, strong, trained, confident.
He has his father's sword, his grandfather Gunnar's helmet. Wearing dead men's equipment to join them in death. The statistics run through your mind constantly. 70% never reach 40. He's 17, that gives him maybe 10 years if he's lucky. More likely 3 to 5. Most likely dead on this first raid, or the second. You've prepared as much as you can. Taught him to treat wounds, avoid infections, spot bad weather. Practical survival knowledge layered over combat training he insisted on learning. "I'll be fine, Mother," he says, hugging you. "I'm good at this. I'll come back rich." If he comes back at all. Your daughters are 21 and 19. The eldest is married to Haldor's son, pregnant with her first child. Safe marriage, peaceful household. She'll probably survive. The youngest is running most of the collective's operations now. Brilliant administrator, ruthless negotiator. She'll take over completely when you're gone. But your son, your baby boy, your only son, is choosing death. The Widow Collective is 18 women now. You'll probably join their ranks as mother of dead son, if not yet widow to son. The pattern continues.
Thorvald is 56, slowing significantly now. He tried talking to your son one last time. "Peace and wealth beat glory and death," he said. Your son thanked him politely and ignored the advice. "You've updated the records. My son leaves for his first raid in 2 weeks. 17 years old. Statistics give him 10 years maximum, probably less. I raised him, educated him, showed him alternatives. Culture 1. He chooses glory. I begin mourning now." The night before he leaves, you sit with him, memorizing his face. Blonde hair like his father, like all your dead men. Blue eyes full of confidence and ignorance. "I love you," you tell him. "Come back alive." "I will," he promises. They all promise. They rarely deliver. You give him a small carved amulet, protection charm. It won't work. Nothing works against 70% mortality. But it makes you feel slightly less helpless. Tomorrow he leaves. You'll wait. Like all the widows wait. Like you've waited before. Like you'll wait again. The pattern continues. Women wait. Men die. Women survive. Women mourn. The cycle is eternal. You are 37 and your son has been gone for 4 months. No word. The ships should have returned by now. You sit by the fire with the other waiting women. Mothers, wives, sisters. All waiting. Some have been waiting for years. Bodies never returned, just absence stretching into certainty. Your daughters try to keep you occupied. The eldest, now 22 and 7 months pregnant, visits daily. The youngest, 20, runs the household operations while you sit and wait. Thorvald visits weekly, sitting in silence beside you. He knows what waiting feels like. He waited for news of his brothers decades ago. They never came home either. The Widow Collective has grown to 20 women. They prepare, quietly, for you to join their ranks fully, not just as matriarch widow of husband, but as mother of dead son. The grief is different, they tell you. Worse, somehow. You keep updating the records, mechanically. This year, 23 men dead from the village, 16 in raids, 4 from accidents, 3 from disease, 4 women dead, 3 in childbirth, 1 from fever. The ratios never change. Men die at catastrophic rates. Women survive by staying home, by avoiding the violence men seek. 5 months. 6 months. Finally, a ship returns. Not your son's ship, a different crew. They bring news. Your son's ship encountered a storm off the Irish coast, capsized, all hands lost. 17 men drowned, including your son, 17 years old. 1 raid, dead. You don't cry. You've been crying for 6 months. Now you're just empty. The widows gather around you. They know this grief, they've lived it. Your son joins the list. Died age 17, drowned on first raid, body never recovered. 70% mortality, the statistics said. Your son was in the 70%. Not the lucky 30 who survive. Thorvald holds you while you shake silently. I'm sorry, he whispers. I'm so sorry. Your daughters weep. Your grandchild kicks in your eldest daughter's belly. New life while you mourn death. The cycle continues. Tonight, you update the records with shaking hands. My son, age 17, died on first raid. Drowned. No body. Another number in the statistics. Another boy choosing glory, finding death. I am now mother of dead son. The pattern continues. I hate the pattern. You are 40, and you've survived 3 years since your son drowned. The grief hasn't lessened. You've just learned to function around it. Your eldest daughter gave birth to a son. She named him after your dead boy. The child is 2 now, blonde and wild, running everywhere. You can't look at him without seeing the grandson you'll never have from your actual son. Your youngest daughter, now 23, has taken over most of the collective's operations. You still maintain the records, but she handles trade negotiations, property management, daily administration. She's brilliant at it, more capable than you were at her age. She's also declared she won't marry. Why? She asks, gesturing at the records. 70% chance my husband dies young, leaving me with children and grief. I already have wealth and purpose. Why add a doomed man to the equation? You should argue with her. Tell her about companionship, children, continuation. But you can't. She's right. The statistics are brutal. Why choose grief voluntarily? Thorvald is 60 now, ancient by Viking standards. He's slowing down significantly, letting Haldor manage most of the farm. But he's alive, healthy enough, surrounded by grandchildren and great-grandchildren. 4 generations of peaceful prosperity. The widow collective is 22 women now. Your youngest daughter manages it like a business, which it is. Annual revenues rival wealthy jarls. You employ 70 people, own 6 ships, mines, warehouses, vast landholdings, all built by widows and peace. You've been documenting for 16 years now. The statistics are overwhelming. In 16 years, you've recorded 312 men's deaths. 78% from violence, raids, battles, warrior training accidents. 15% from farming/labor accidents. 7% from disease. Women's deaths in same period, 41 total. 63% from childbirth. 27% from disease. 10% from accidents. Men die at nearly 8 times the rate of women. The pattern is undeniable. Tonight, you sit with your daughter who won't marry, teaching her the final record-keeping techniques. When I die, you tell her, continue this. Document the truth. Future women need to know why we survive. I will, she promises. Though I plan to survive longer than you. No husbands to grieve, no sons to lose. Smart girl. Cold calculation, but smart. You are 43, and Thorvald is dying. 63 years old. Extraordinary for a Viking man. He's outlived nearly every man of his generation by 2 to 3 decades. You sit with him in his final days. Peaceful death, no violence, no infection from wounds. Just old age wearing out a body that chose peace over glory. I did it right, he tells you. I survived. I built wealth. I raised children who survived. I saw grandchildren, great-grandchildren. I won. You hold his hand. You did.
You proved it's possible. But nobody writes sagas about farmers, he says. No glory in survival. Glory is overrated, you tell him. You outlived everyone who sought it. He dies peacefully 3 days later. You're devastated. He was your last connection to the old days, to your sons, to your youth. But you're also grateful. He proved men can survive past 40, past 50, past 60. By choosing peace. His funeral is massive. 63 years of peaceful prosperity created enormous family and community. 4 generations attend, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren. 30-plus descendants, all alive because he chose farming over raiding.
You update the records. Thorvald, son of Astrid the Elder and Olaf.
Year 975, died. Year 1038, age, 63 years, cause, old age. Never raided. Raised 6 children to adulthood. Died. Wealthy, peaceful, surrounded by 34 living descendants. Proof that peace works. Proof that men can survive. But rare. Only man in village to reach this age. The statistics remain brutal. Average male death age in your records is 31. Average female death age is 49. 18-year gap. Thorvald was an outlier. Most men never see 40. Your daughters are 28 and 26. The eldest has 4 children now. The youngest still unmarried, still running the collective, still refusing to risk widow grief.
The collective is 24 widows now. You're 43, neither youngest nor oldest, somewhere in the middle. You've been a widow for 21 years. Your son has been dead for 6. You're surviving, but the grief never fully leaves. Tonight, after Thorvald's funeral, you sit with the records. 46 years since the old Astrid started documenting. 19 years since you took over. Hundreds of deaths recorded. The pattern never varies. Men seek glory. Glory kills them. Women survive by staying, working, building community. The cycle continues. The statistics don't lie. You are 46, and you're training your granddaughter in record keeping. She's 12 years old, the daughter of your eldest daughter, and she's brilliant like her aunt. Why do you write everything down, grandmother? She asks. You show her the tablets spanning nearly 50 years. Because truth must be documented. The sagas celebrate warriors who die young. We document the reality. Warriors die young. Peaceful people survive. Women outlive men by decades. Future generations need to know. She studies the numbers with a child's brutal honesty. So most men are stupid. You laugh. First genuine laugh in years. Not stupid, just culturally programmed to choose glory over survival. They can't help it. Society teaches boys that violence equals manhood. That's stupid, she insists. Yes, you agree. Yes, it is. Your youngest daughter, now 29, has finally married. Not a warrior, a merchant trader, 35 years old, already proven his survival ability. She calculated the odds. Merchant traders have 40% mortality versus 70% for raiders. Better odds, still risky. You supported the match. At least she chose someone with decent survival statistics. The Widow Collective is 26 women now. You're one of the senior members, not the eldest, but experienced, respected. The collective owns staggering wealth now. 8 trading ships, shares in multiple mines and salt works, warehouses across 4 countries, vast land holdings, all built by widows choosing survival and economics over glory and violence. You're wealthy enough to buy Jarls,
Some Jarls resent this. Women having power, making decisions, controlling trade. Too bad. Your legal rights are clear. Your wealth is real. Your community is strong. The village pattern remains constant. 38 widows to 14 married women. Almost 3-to-1 ratio. This is normal. This is Viking life. Tonight, your granddaughter asks, "Will I be a widow too?" You consider lying, but the records don't lie. Probably, you tell her, but you'll survive it. We always do, and you'll document it. Continue the...
You are 49, and your body is failing in ways you recognize from the old Astrid's final years. The cough that won't quit, the exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix, the weight falling off despite eating. You know what this is, the beginning of the end. You're not afraid. 49 years is a good life for a Viking woman. You've survived childbirth, widowhood, the death of a son. You've built wealth, documented truth, passed on knowledge. Your daughters are 34 and 32. The eldest has 6 children, 3 grandchildren. The youngest has 2 children with her merchant husband, plus the collective to manage. Both will be fine without you. Your granddaughter is 15 now, ready to take over the records. You've spent 3 years training her. She understands the mission. Document the truth about survival and death. Maintain the statistical evidence. Pass it down. The Widow Collective is 28 women now. You've been part of it for 27 years. The system functions independently. You built it well. They don't need you anymore. You're making final arrangements. The records go to your granddaughter. The collective management goes to your youngest daughter. The wealth is divided among daughters and grandchildren. The thralls are freed or placed in good households. Everything is ordered. Thorvald has been dead 6 years. Your son has been dead 12. Your husband Olaf has been dead 27. You've spent most of your adult life as a widow. This is normal for Viking women. Widowhood is the default state. The statistics you've maintained for 22 years are clear. Men die at 8 times the rate of women. Men's average death age, 31. Women's average death age, 49. You're 49. You're dying exactly at average. But you documented it all. 53 years of records. The old Astrid's 43 years. You're 22 years. Overlapping to create comprehensive documentation. Tonight, you make your final entry. I am dying. Age 49. Average for Viking women who survive childbirth. I've outlived my husband by 27 years. My raiding son by 12 years. Most men I've known by 10 to 20 years. The pattern holds. Women survive by staying, working, building community. Men die seeking glory. The statistics never lie. Granddaughter, continue this. Document truth. You close the tablet. Your work is done. The second Astrid, young Astrid, your chronicler, is dead. 49 years old. She outlived her husband by 27 years, her son by 12 years, her mentor Thorvald by 6. She died documenting. Her final entry, written with shaking hands, completed the mission. Maintain the truth. Record the statistics. Prove why women survive. Now the records pass to the 3rd generation. You are the granddaughter, also named Astrid, because of course you are. 15 years old, and the documentation mission is yours now. You stand at her funeral pyre, holding 53 years of records. Your great-great-great-grandmother started this. Your grandmother continued it. Now you carry it forward. The pattern is clear in the tablets you've studied. Men die young seeking glory. Women survive through work and community. The statistics span 5 decades, hundreds of deaths. Undeniable evidence. You're 15. You'll probably marry eventually.
The family expects it. You'll probably bear children. You'll probably become a widow. 1 in 5 chance of dying in childbirth, but 4 in 5 chance of surviving to old age. Better odds than men face. Your mother is 32, running the collective empire your grandmother built. Your aunt is 34, managing a household of 9. Both strong, both surviving, both widowed or married to unlikely to survive men. The widow collective is 30 widows now. Ages ranging from 23 to 79. All surviving, all managing, all building wealth while men die overseas or in fields, or from infections. You make your first entry as record keeper. Grandmother Astrid died today. Age 49. Cause: lung disease. She documented 53 years of Viking life spanning 3 generations. The statistics prove women outlive men by an average of 18 years. We survive by choosing community over glory, work over violence, documentation over saga tales. I continue her mission. The funeral pyre burns. Another Astrid becomes ash. But the records remain. The truth remains. And you, 3rd generation Astrid, will keep documenting until you die, and pass the records to the 4th generation. The pattern continues. The statistics don't lie. Women survive.
You are 18 now, 3rd Astrid, record keeper. 3 years since your grandmother died. You've maintained the documentation faithfully. The statistics continue unchanged. This year, 19 men died from the village. 13 in raids, 4 from accidents, 2 from disease. 3 women died, all in childbirth. Men dying at a 6-to-1 ratio. The pattern holds across decades, across generations. Undeniable. You've married, not because you wanted to, but because family pressure was immense. Your husband is 21, a farmer like Haldor's line, peaceful, non-raiding. You calculated the odds. Non-raiding men have 45% mortality before age 40. Not great, but better than 70% for raiders. You're pregnant, 5 months along, facing the 1 in 5 chance of dying in childbirth that your grandmother documented so thoroughly. You're terrified but practical. You've updated your will, prepared succession plans for the records, taught your cousin the documentation system. If you die, the mission continues. Your mother is 35, still running the collective. 32 widows now, managing astonishing wealth. Your aunt is 37, grandmother to 7, still raising children and grandchildren. The collective has evolved further. Now it's essentially a corporation with written bylaws, voting structures, profit-sharing mechanisms. Women's economic power institutionalized and legally protected. You're documenting the evolution. Year 56 of records. Widow collective, now formalized corporation. 32-member widows. Assets including 9 ships, 4 mines, 7 warehouses, extensive land. Annual revenue rivals major jarls. All built by women surviving men's deaths. Proof that female-led economics work. Proof that survival beats glory. You've also started a new section, predictions. Based on 56 years of data, you can predict with reasonable accuracy 70% of current 15-year-old boys will die before 40. 80% of women who survive their first childbirth will reach 50. The numbers are cold, but you are 19 and you survive childbirth. Barely. 23 hours of labor, massive bleeding. You nearly died, but you didn't. 4 in 5 women survive. You were one of the 4. Your daughter is 2 months old. You named her Sigrid, after the grandmother you never met.
the one who buried 4 of her 5 children, who lived to 51, watching everyone die around her. Your body is destroyed. The tearing was extensive. The bleeding took weeks to stop. The infection that followed nearly killed you. But you're alive. You update the records with shaking hands. Survived first childbirth. Age 19. Duration 23 hours. Complications: severe hemorrhaging, infection. Recovery 12 weeks. Daughter, healthy. I am one of 4 in 5 who survive, understanding now why 20% don't. Childbirth is brutal, but still safer than raiding. Your husband is 22, still alive, still farming. He has maybe a 50-50 chance of reaching 40. You'll probably outlive him by decades. The Widow Collective is 34 women now. 2 new ones joined while you were recovering from childbirth. Both young, both with infants. Both widowed when husbands died in the same raid. The pattern continues, eternal and brutal. Your mother is 36, your aunt is 38. Both healthy, both managing vast households and businesses. Both will probably live into their 50s or 60s. Both have outlived husbands, brothers, fathers by decades. You're documenting the generational pattern now. Your great-great-great-great-grandmother Astrid the Elder lived to 61. Your great-great-great-grandmother Sigrid lived to 51. Your great-great-grandmother, first young Astrid, lived to 49. Your grandmother, second young Astrid, lived to 49. 4 generations of women. Average lifespan, 52 years. Men in same family line. Average lifespan, 28 years. 24-year gap. That's the answer to the question, why do Viking women outlive men by 20 years? Because they do. The mathematics are undeniable. Tonight, you nurse baby Sigrid and calculate. She has 1 in 5 chance of dying in her first childbirth. 4 in 5 chance of living to 50 or beyond. Better odds than any boy born today.
You are 22 and your husband is dead. 25 years old, crushed by a falling tree he was felling. Instant death, body brought home intact at least. You're a widow now. 3 years of marriage, 1 daughter, now alone. The pattern continues. You're the newest member of the Widow Collective that now numbers 36 women. You're not surprised. I calculated the odds when I married. 50% chance he dies before 40. He made it to 25. 5 more years than your grandmother's son, who drowned at 17. Your daughter Sigrid is 3 years old. She'll barely remember her father. This is normal. Most Viking children have dead or absent fathers. You update the records. Husband died, age 25. Cause, tree felling accident. Married 3 years, 1 daughter. I am now widow. Age 22. Expected to survive another 25 to 30 years as widow. Pattern holds. Non-raiding men still die young. Accidents, disease, violence, doesn't matter. Men die, women continue. Your mother is 39, your aunt is 41. Both still managing households and businesses. Both healthy. Both have outlived husbands, brothers, sons, fathers. The collective welcomes you officially as widow member, not just record keeper. They teach you the specific economics of widowhood, how to manage property, how to negotiate as a woman alone, how to protect your daughter's inheritance. You're learning what your grandmothers learned. Widowhood is the default state for adult Viking women. Marriage is temporary. Widowhood is permanent. The collective is now essentially ruling the local economy. 36 widows controlling majority of textile production, most trade ships, significant land holdings. You employ 90 people. Annual revenue exceeds most jarls. And it's all led by women whose husbands died. You're 22 with decades ahead. You'll raise Sigrid.
You'll manage your inherited property. You'll contribute to the collective. You'll document everything. And you'll probably never marry again. Why would you? You've seen the statistics. You've lived the pattern.
You are 25, and you've been documenting for 10 years. 63 years of total records now. Your great-great-great-great-grandmother's 43 years. Your grandmother's 22 years overlapping. Your 10 years continuing. The statistics are overwhelming. In 63 years, 847 men's deaths recorded. Average age, 30.7 years. Causes, 69% violence, raids, battles, training. 19% accidents, 12% disease. Women's deaths, same period, 187 total. Average age, 48.3 years. Causes, 58% childbirth, 31% disease, 11% accidents. Men die at 4.5 times the rate of women. Average lifespan gap, 17 years. You've documented it all, proven it mathematically, created undeniable evidence. Your daughter Sigrid is 6 now, learning to read the records. You're teaching her like your grandmother taught you. Document the truth, maintain the statistics, pass it down. The Widow Collective is 38 women now. Your mother is 42, still running the empire. Your aunt is 44, grandmother to 12. Both healthy, both outliving everyone from their generation. You're considering remarriage. A merchant trader, 43 years old, proven survivor. He's made it past the high mortality years. His odds of reaching 60 are maybe 40%, better than most. But you're hesitant. You've seen the pattern. You've lived the pattern. Why choose potential grief again? The collective has expanded operations into insurance and money lending. You're essentially running a bank now, financing trade voyages, charging interest, managing risk. Women controlling capital, making economic decisions, building generational wealth. Some jarls want to shut you down. Women having this much power threatens traditional structures. But your legal rights are solid. Your wealth is real. Your political connections are extensive. You've started teaching younger women in the village, not just collective members, but all young women. Teaching them to read, to calculate, to understand economics. Preparing them for inevitable widowhood. Tonight, you make a significant entry. After 63 years of documentation, the pattern is undeniable. Viking women outlive men by an average of 17 years. This is not accident. This is mathematics. Men choose violence and glory. Women choose survival and community. The statistics prove which strategy works. We document this so future generations know. Survival is victory. Glory is death. You are 28 and you've remarried. The merchant trader, now 46. 3 years of courtship, calculating odds, finally accepting that companionship might be worth the risk. You're pregnant again. 9 months pregnant, actually. About to face the 1 in 5 odds for the second time. You survived once. Probably you'll survive again. Your daughter Sigrid is 9, brilliant and serious, already helping with records. She understands the pattern. Her father died at 25. Her stepfather will probably die in his 50s. Her mother will probably survive into 60s. The Widow Collective is 40 women now. Your mother is 45. Your aunt is 47. Both ancient by Viking standards. Both healthy and managing vast operations.
You've made a significant addition to the records. Predictive modeling. Based on 66 years of data, you can predict with reasonable accuracy. Current 15-year-old boys, 68% will die before 40. Current 15-year-old girls, 79% will reach 50. Current married women, 82% will become widows. Current widows under 40, 91% will remarry or manage independently. The mathematics are clear. The patterns are undeniable. Your merchant husband has survived to 46 by avoiding raids, by being smart, by calculating risks. He's missing 2 fingers from a rope accident, has a bad knee from a fall, but he's alive. That's more than most men can say. He understands the statistics. You showed him the records before marriage. He knows you'll probably outlive him by 15 to 20 years. He accepted it. Smart man. Tonight, labor begins. Second childbirth. You're better prepared this time. Experienced midwife, herbal pain management, knowledge of what to expect. 23 hours last time. Hopefully faster this time. 1 in 5 chance of dying, 4 in 5 of surviving. You've documented 6 years proving women survive. Time to prove it again yourself. Your mother sits with you as labor progresses. You'll survive, she says. We always do. 4 in 5 times, you correct. You're one of the 4, she insists. She's probably right. The statistics favor survival. You're probably going to survive this. Raise 2 children. Outlive your husband. Live into your 60s. Document it all. The pattern continues.
You are 29, and you survived second childbirth. Easier than the first. Only 14 hours, less bleeding, faster recovery. Your son is 3 months old. You named him Thorvald, after the great uncle who proved men can survive by choosing peace. 4 in 5 women survive childbirth. You've survived twice. Your odds are good now. 2 births completed. Both survived. You're probably done having children. 2 is enough. Your daughter Sigrid is 10. Your son Thorvald is 3 months. Your merchant husband is 47. Still alive. Still trading. He's beaten the average male lifespan by 16 years already. The widow collective is 42 women now. Your mother is 46. Your aunt is 48. Both showing age but healthy. Both will probably make it to 60 or beyond. You're documenting a remarkable trend. The collective's success is creating generational wealth that allows younger women to avoid high-risk marriages. Several women in their 20s are choosing to remain unmarried, managing inherited wealth, avoiding widow grief. Your cousin, age 24, put it bluntly. Why marry? I have wealth from my mother's textile business. I have community from the collective. I have purpose from the work. Why add a man who'll probably die and leave me grieving? I'll adopt orphans if I want children. She's not wrong. The mathematics support her choice. You've been documenting for 13 years, 69 years of total records. The statistics remain constant. Men die young, women survive. Widowhood is default female state. But now you're documenting alternatives. Women choosing not to marry. Women raising children collectively. Women building economic power independently of men. The pattern is evolving, not breaking. Men still die at horrific rates, but adapting. Women learning to survive without depending on doomed men. Tonight, you update records. Year 69 of documentation. Pattern holds. Men dying young, women surviving, but evolution occurring. Younger women choosing independence over marriage. Why choose grief when you can choose wealth and autonomy? Collective enabling female economic independence. Future may see fewer marriages, more autonomous women, continuation without men's brief, violent presence. You are 32, and your merchant husband has died. 50 years old for a Viking man. Heart gave out suddenly while unloading cargo. No warning, just gone. You're a widow again,
4 years of second marriage, 2 children from 2 husbands. Both husbands dead before you're even 33. You're not surprised. You calculated the odds. You knew this was coming. Men die, women continue. You update the records. Second husband died. Age 50. Cause, heart failure. Married 4 years. 1 son. I am widow again. Age 32. Outlived first husband by 10 years. Second husband by hours. Expected to survive another 20 to 30 years. Pattern holds. Even careful men die young. Your daughter Sigrid is 13. Your son, Thorvald, is 3. Both will grow up with dead fathers. This is normal. Most Viking children do. The widow collective is 44 women now. You're firmly established in the middle ranks. Not the youngest, not the eldest, just another widow among many. Your mother is 49, approaching the average female death age. She's slowing down, letting younger widows manage more operations. Your aunt is 51, still matriarch to her large clan. You're 32. You'll probably live another 25 to 30 years. That's the mathematics of female survival. You won't marry again. Twice is enough. 2 dead husbands, 2 grieving periods, 2 sets of funeral arrangements. You're done with that pattern. Instead, you'll focus on raising children, managing inherited property, documenting the truth, teaching the next generation. Sigrid is brilliant. She'll take over the records eventually. Thorvald is gentle, like his namesake. Maybe he'll choose peace over violence. Maybe. The collective has reached peak power. 44 widows controlling majority of regional economy, employing 120 people, operating bank-level financial services, all built by women whose husbands died. Tonight, at your second husband's funeral, you stand dry-eyed. You've mourned before. You'll mourn again when your mother dies, when your aunt dies, when friends die. But you're tired of mourning men who chose risky lives. The pattern continues. Men die, women survive. You document it all. 72 years of records now, thousands of deaths, undeniable mathematical proof. Viking women outlive men by an average of 17 to 20 years. Not because women are stronger, because men are stupider. They choose glory over survival, violence over peace, risk over security, and they die for it. Always.
You are 35, and your mother is dying. 52 years old, lung disease, like so many women who survive everything else. She's been coughing for months, growing thinner, weaker. She outlived her husband by 38 years. She outlived her brother by 23 years. She's managed the widow collective for decades, built an empire, survived everything. Now she's dying peacefully in bed, surrounded by family. You hold her hand. Your daughter Sigrid, now 16, sits on the other side. Your son Thorvald, now 6, plays quietly in the corner. Continue the records, your mother whispers. You and Sigrid. Document everything. The truth must survive, even when we don't. We will, you promise. She smiles weakly. I outlived them all. Your father, my brothers, most men I knew. 52 years. Not bad for a Viking woman. Better than most men, you agree. She dies 3 days later, 52 years old. Average for Viking women who survive childbirth. She hit the statistical mean exactly. Her funeral is massive. 52 years of building community, wealth, relationships. The widow collective, now 46 women, all attend. Your aunt, 54, gives the eulogy. She survived, your aunt says. She built, she documented, she proved that women's way works better than men's way. Peace over glory, community over violence, survival over death. You update the records. Mother died, age 52, cause lung disease. She managed the widow collective for 27 years, built wealth that rivals Jarl's. Documented 32 years of statistics.
outlived husband by 38 years, outlived brother by 23 years. Died at exact average age for Viking women. Pattern confirmed again. 75 years of records now. Your great-great-great-great-great-grandmother started this. Your mother continued it. Now you and Sigrid carry it forward. The statistics span 3/4 of a century. Viking women outlive men by 17 to 20 years. The pattern never changes. The mathematics never lie. You're 35. You'll probably live another 15 to 20 years. Sigrid is 16. She'll probably live 40 plus more years. The records will continue. The truth will be documented. The pattern will prove itself, generation after generation.
You are 38 years old. Your name is Astrid, third of that name in direct line, fifth generation of record keepers. You sit in the longhouse built by your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother 63 years ago. Before you, 78 years of records, wooden tablets covered in runes, documenting thousands of lives and deaths. The truth about Viking survival, carved in permanent record. Your daughter Sigrid is 19 now. She sits beside you, updating the current year's statistics. Your son Thorvald is 9, learning to read the runes that will someday be his responsibility. You've calculated the final statistics. In 78 years of documentation, 1,247 men's deaths recorded. Average male death age, 30.9 years. Primary causes, 68% violence, 20% accidents, 12% disease. 289 women's deaths recorded. Average female death age, 48.7 years. Primary causes, 56% childbirth, 32% disease, 12% accidents. The gap, 17.8 years. Nearly 18 years of extra life for women who survive childbirth. This is the answer. This is why Viking women outlived men by 20 years. Not because women were stronger, because men chose violence and women chose survival. Not because women were luckier, because men sought glory and women sought continuity. Not because of magic or gods, because of mathematics and choices. You write the final summary. After 78 years of documentation across 5 generations, the conclusion is undeniable. Viking women outlive men by an average of 18 years because 1. Raiding has 70% mortality rate before age 40. Women don't raid. 2. Farming/labor accidents kill men at high rates. Women do safer household work. 3. Male culture celebrates violence and risk-taking. Female culture celebrates survival and community. 4. Childbirth kills 20% of women, but 80% survive, then face much lower mortality than men. 5. Women build economic power through collective action. Men compete individually and die individually. 6. Widowhood becomes economic advantage. Dead husbands leave property that widows manage successfully. The pattern is not natural. It is cultural. Men could survive by choosing peace. See Thorvald the Elder, age 63 at death. But culture pressures men toward violence. Women survive not through superior strength, but through superior choices. We choose community. We choose documentation. We choose truth over glory. We survive. We document. We continue. The saga tales celebrate dead heroes. We celebrate living women. History will remember the warriors. We remember the widows who built civilization, while men burned it down. You set down the stylus. 78 years of truth. Documented. Your daughter Sigrid will continue it. Her children will continue it. The documentation will outlast the empire, outlast the culture, outlast the age. Because truth survives longer than glory. Because records outlast sagas. Because women who choose survival outlive men who choose death. Always.